Hi, it's Splinterverse. Welcome to another episode of D&D New Releases, where we offer first impressions of new third-party products for Dungeons & Dragons. We cover up to 20 titles from Dungeon Masters Guild and up to 20 more from DriveThruRPG each week. The titles are presented in alphabetical order by site, and all of them are linked in the video description. Purchasing the books using those links helps the channel, but you can also support us by purchasing one of our best-selling books. We've got lineages suitable for any setting, as well as optional lineage rules in our Van Richten's Librum of Lineages. With our Potions Unlocked book, we have over 100 pages of material to take your potions to the next level in your game. Our Feywild Companion offers 150 pages of Feywild fun for players and DMs. Also, our book Fizban's Vault of Draconic Secrets contains over 50 pages of dragon-themed player options, including a subclass for each class, and much more. Please support the channel by purchasing our books using the links in the video description. Before we get into the new releases, let me talk about our exclusive discount this week. It's one of the biggest we've ever had. It's 80% off this wonderful title. It's called Veratrem's Tribal Siege, and it's an adventure that you can use alongside Storm King's Thunder as part of Chapter 3 or on its own. And it's got gorgeous artwork, obviously, but it says here, this adventure is designed for the Storm King's Thunder campaign and is intended to give your players extra content during Chapter 3. It will bring your party to 𝙽𝙤𝙘𝙀, a small town located in the Westwood. There, they will face off with Veratrem, a young green dragon that has taken control of a local kobold tribe. If the adventurers think they can easily take the weak creatures, they have a surprise coming to them. So it's a 5 to 8 hour adventure for tier 2 characters optimized for an average party level of 6, and it's enough material to fill 1 to 2 sessions, and it's 33 full color pages with lots of maps you can see, as well as a printer friendly version. So really cool. And it's been based on the feedback of participating players as well, as far as revisions to it. So we always like to see that. And looking inside, again, you get to see the beautiful artwork, and you get to see 27 of the 33 pages. So you get to see quite a bit of those pages. And it's normally $4.95, but with that discount, I think it's going to be around $1 because it's 80% off. So you're going to get a really great price for these 33 pages here. So scrolling through, you can see got contents, all the different chapters of the adventure, all the way through 4. And then there's a whole section on the lair. And then you've got Chapter 5, and then monsters, magic items, and maps. So just packed full of stuff. And I mean, I just can't believe the price you're going to get this through the Splinterverse discount program. So we're going to look at some of the adventure hooks and some of the other stuff here in a minute, but they've got a cool flow chart to help you see the different ways the adventure can flow. I love to see that they can go multiple directions here. That's really important. A lot of adventures are just straight up linear, which is really hard as a DM to run, but this is not. So that's awesome. And look at this gorgeous art. You've got all kinds of information here on adjusting. I'm going to just do a quick scroll so you can see kind of how it looks in spreads, which is, again, beautiful. And then I'm going to come back up here and zoom in so we can learn a little bit more in detail. But let's zoom in here. And let me see, I may have to, let me turn off 2-page view so I can zoom in, because what I want you to see is that they've taken time here to put in this party composition and then strength, so you can see what it's going to be like. Again, you're trying to get that average party level of 6, but what's really nice, and you don't see this very often, is that they're breaking it down by how many in the party, what it's going to be like. You can kind of see what the strength is, and you just don't see that. And then you've got a pronunciation guide, so it's just super thorough stuff in here. Little flavor text, we'll read some of that in a minute, but just so much stuff to offer in here. These maps are reusable. You can use them for other adventures, create your own adventures around them. I mean, you could take the little numbers on it and invent whatever, but they've got a full town description here with the NPCs, all the different names of the people living there, something called the Laughing Squirrel Inn, which is a really fun name. So I mean, for around $1 for 33 pages of this stuff, you can't beat it. And remember, these discounts are super short term, so you get like a week to buy these. So you want to make sure you're following us everywhere and taking advantage of these discounts before they're gone. Because typically the max you're going to get on DM's Guild is 40%, because you have a choice as a creator to say, I think 40% or up to 70%. And so to get 80%, the creator pretty much has to initiate that. So again, these discounts, when they come up, I would take advantage of them. I've been taking advantage of the ones that I didn't already own for sure, because I like having books, and it's a cheap way to get a lot of them. All right, so let's look at a few of the hooks here, some of the intro text. So it says, just before the heroes leave Triboar, Elandria Olgar approaches them and asks them to come with her to the Lion's Share, a large merchant post and store in the center of town. There, Elandria and her colleague, Narth Tesrin, offer them a job. Over the last couple of 10 days, the long road to the south of Triboar has gotten really dangerous, Elandria says. We've been having trouble getting all of our shipments delivered to the trade and post in 𝘏𝙗𝙗, a village in the Westwood. Narth adds, we don't know what's going on, but we fear our merchants are getting robbed. Elandria continues, is there any way you could escort our next shipment to 𝘏𝙗𝙗? So they need the party to escort. It's an escort mission to take this stuff to 𝘏𝙗𝙗, and along the way they're going to end up with this dragon encounter, which is pretty cool. You can see all kinds of good stuff. That they've got page numbers for here, for example, they say Goblin Boss, and then they've got Monster Manual page 166. So again, this has been made with real care and thought toward the reader and what they're going to need, and the DM in preparing their adventure. So we want to support that, and I think this is a great way to do it, because you're going to get this for around $1, right? Here's the trinkets. They've got a trinkets and an encounter table, so a jar of pickled vegetables, a set of tools for making traps, a kobold, an empty crate, a lost pickaxe. I mean, all kinds of things they can run into, and you can reuse that table, right, for another mine or somewhere else. Maybe the party doesn't go through every part of this adventure. They skip ahead, or as we saw on that plot map. There's a lot of options as far as directions they can go. So, remember, anything left over you could reuse with the exact same players. Just tweak it a little, right? So love to see all the extra stuff, extra care in books like this. So really fun. I like it a lot. I have the whole thing, and I've looked through it, and the art is just really beautiful, and it's so well put together. And lots of fun, and it expands Storm King's Thunder too. So if you're already going to play that, or you're planning to play that, it's giving you so many options. So I can't stress enough how great this is. That is 80% off. That's one of the biggest discounts we've had. So I want you to check it out. It's in the links below under Veratrem's. Tribal Siege should be the first one in the timestamps, so give it a click. Next, we have Bassy's and Marl's Most Excellent Eggstravaganza, with these cute little bunnies here playing musical instruments. And, Easter's coming up, and so we're seeing some Easter adventures. And this one has a suggested price of $0, and it's 19 pages on Pay What You Want, and it's by Penny Blake. And I really think that this is a fun adventure, and you should support Penny. And if you haven't seen Penny's YouTube channel, you should check that out as well. I find Penny to be an inspiration, and the videos are awesome, so check it out. So it says here, Sebastopol and Marmaduke are accomplished inventors with hearts of gold. It's just a shame that their epic plans do not always turn out the way they hope. Can your party thwart their latest well-meaning schemes and battle their way through mishaps and monsters to save a bunch of rare endangered eggs before time runs out? A short and sweet little Easter-themed one-shot with an Alice in Wonderland flavor, scalable for any level, playing time 2 to 4 hours. And so you've got 7 new Alice-themed magic items, a tea party, a Mad Hatter's Guild, racing flamingos, all kinds of stuff, a clockwork chicken-legged house, a steam-powered ferry boat. So looks really, really fun, all kinds of stuff, perfect for, if you want to have like an Easter-themed time with your table, you could do that with this, and it's free. but I encourage you to pay something to support the creator here. So you've got the contents, all the different chapters, and broken down into quite a few, which is nice. So you're getting a lot of sections that you can break it out. It tells you, this is how you figure out what the combination of things is going to be. So if the average party level is 1 to 2, then it's going to be easy 4, medium 8, 12 is hard. So that's your DCs. So it just kind of helps you scale without having to think about it too much. You can just kind of say, okay, if I want to make it easy, I just make the DC 4. If I want to make it hard, I make it 12 with an average party level of 1 to 2. But then if I go to 3 to 4, I can make it hard by making it DC 15. So lots of options. And then you've got your adventure overview, and then the hunt begins, and some fun artwork. You've got your Mad Hatter here. And then here, there's a whole rare monster eggs that you can get, everything from an owlbear to a wyvern, and then you can even do like a phoenix or a Tarrasque if you want something more challenging. So I love how Penny has thought about making this scalable for everyone, because it's got that DC table at the beginning. It's got the if you want more of a challenge, here's some harder monster eggs to have to be what you deal with here. So very cool. And then here's magic item bonus eggs. We'll look at some of those maybe in a minute. But yeah, you get to see the whole book in the preview, so you can really check it out, see if it's going to work for you, read the whole thing, and then purchase it. But I think it looks really fun. There's so much stuff in here. I mean, you've got a gingerbread recipe, you've got a tavern game called Ginger Snap, and you've got this new creature called 𝙬𝙘𝙧𝙬𝙧 𝘬𝙾, and I think that's and Mike and an adult here. So these are things that you can reuse, and marvelous mechanical mystery egg. I mean, just so much stuff in here for free, or hopefully you'll pay something, support the creator, and it's going to be Easter themed. So you can use, the eggs in here for an Easter thing, or, anything Feywild, right? Feywild gets a little crazy. You could have a Mad Hatter in Feywild, right? So you could use it there. I mean, there's a lot of places you could use it. So let's see what's going on with these magic item bonus eggs here. So we've got Picnic Hamper of Holding. Never run out of pie again. This handy hamper is an extra dimensional space capable of fulfilling all your picnicking needs. It can hold up to 500 pounds of food, not exceeding a volume of 64 cubic feet. Food placed inside the hamper remains fresh indefinitely until it is taken out. Removing food from the hamper requires one action. If the hamper is damaged, it instantly expels all its contents in a volcano of food. So really cool picnic hamper theme thing. And then you've got inspirational tea, escapological marbles, raging horn, gingerbread familiar recipe. I mean, just fun stuff in here. And I could see this being good for kids too, with all the little eggs and different things going on in the Alice in Wonderland stuff. So if you have some children you want to play D&D with, this might be a good way to do it. Or some children at heart, maybe they want to play as well. So check it out under Bassy and Marl's most excellent Eggstravaganza in the links below, and give it a click. Next, we've got the next volume in the Bloodied and Bruised series from Anne Gregerson. It's called, Mordenkainen's Tome of Foes, which is exciting. So $3.95, 32 pages. So this series is bringing back that concept of bloodied from 4th edition, so that when a creature reaches a certain point in the battle, they become bloodied, and then that allows for additional actions, maybe new abilities, new traits, etc., because they've reached this sort of turning point, and now they have access to things that they wouldn't have had prior to becoming bloodied. And I think it's just a really cool concept, and it's so great to have it brought back to 5th edition. Thanks to Anne. This is the 3rd book in the series, and the other 2 were awesome as well. I bought those, and so I'm excited for there to be another one. I think that it just gives you so many options, because if you think about it, at its core, these are new abilities, right? So there's nothing stopping you from taking one of these new abilities and putting it on a new creature that you create, or putting it on an existing creature from the monster manual, because there's a lot of savvy players that look at the monster manual and they start to know all the abilities of monsters, right? Or maybe they also DM, and so they happen to know all of it because they're DMing as well. So with books like this, where you're getting all these different things going on, you can repurpose it. Now, some of them might not work with other creatures because they might be more tailored to the abilities the monster already has, but that's okay. It could still inspire new abilities, etc. And what's on display here is already so awesome. So looking here at these examples they've got on the page here, so 𝙬𝙗𝙤 is one of the monsters in 𝘼𝙤𝙤𝙤 𝘽𝙤. So each volume is tied to one of the existing books. So previously they'd done the monster manual and Volo's Guide to Monsters, etc. And so this is going to be 𝘼𝙤𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙤 𝘽𝙤. Just all the monsters that are in there have bloodied actions. So 𝙬𝙗𝙤 says when bloodied at 78 HP, so probably around half health, the 𝙬𝙗𝙤 has the following features. It has a new ability called Abyssal Spores. While bloodied, the 𝙬𝙗𝙤 continuously produces a thin mist of spores from its body. Any non-demon that starts its turn within 5 feet of the 𝙬𝙗𝙤 must succeed on a DC 18 con saving throw or be poisoned until the end of its next turn. On a successful save, the creature is immune to 𝙬𝙗𝙤's Abyssal Spores for 24 hours. So that's cool. They get a little mist of spores coming off, and it sounds like it's called Abyssal Spores, so it sounds very connected to the creature. It's got the spider climb ability, so it becomes all of a sudden, with this new ability, able to climb difficult surfaces, upside down on ceilings. So maybe it starts off the fight, it's not able to do that, and then halfway through, it starts doing stuff they weren't expecting, right? So it can be really fun. And then you've got Zariel here, when bloodied at 290 HP. You've got Horrid Touch. When first bloodied, Zariel's Horrid Touch ability is recharged. So doing some interesting things here with recharge. As you know, the recharge mechanic is a limiter on certain traits. Well, not really traits, but actions. And so this is playing with that and saying, okay, we're going to negate this whole waiting for it to recharge. When the character hits bloody, we're going to automatically recharge it. Prior to that, yeah, we got to recharge. And then presumably after that, you're going to have to go back to recharging. But at one point in time, at the bloodied point, we're going to allow a recharge to happen right away. So really cool. So many things. There's even some death throw abilities. Just fun stuff. And that's just the ones that are here on the page. Let's look inside a little bit so you can see tons of entries, right? Everything from Alep all the way down to Yugoloths and all the different ones. I mean, Anne really does a good job of making sure every single creature gets coverage, that they aren't skipped. I mean, even looking at the different drow, right? I mean, some of these are, you could argue, are the same thing, but Anne doesn't let that stop her from getting everything here. You've got all the different ones here. Drow Arachnomancer, Drow Favored Consort, Drow House Captain. I mean, it's really cool. Even the Dwargar here, they've got all that. So really awesome. And then, so the intro just talks about the bloodied condition. It says, Death Throes is a new effect added by this book meant to make the defeat of an enemy stand out. As it makes a final show of defiance when slain, it's a unique effect triggered when certain creatures reach 0 hit points and die. Some creatures, like the Phoenix, already have a Death Throw trait written into their stat block. This document adds new Death Throws to several other creatures. So really cool. That means, bloodied is happening probably like at the midpoint, right? And then Death Throws at 0. So unexpected things are going to be happening, and that's really cool. And you can see already going right into Alep. Here's the clearly in bold, this is the midpoint, 20 health points. These things become available. Something gets recharged. The speed is lowered. So there's some negatives as well. So the speed is lowered and the AC is lowered for the creature. And then you've got the death throw. So I love this. I think it's so cool and such a great idea to bring it back for all the characters, all the monsters, and going volume by volume is great because then you can pair this with your copy of 𝘼𝙤𝙤𝙤 𝘽𝙤 and just have them side by side and look up the monster together, and it's going to have coverage because Anne does such a great job. And I'm really excited that there's a new volume in this series. Like I said, I got the first two, so it's only $3.95 to get all this good stuff, 32 pages worth. So look for it in the description under Bloodied and Bruised 3 and give it a click. Next, we've got Epic Destinies, options for players beyond 20th level. So, and it's by Peter Oliver. $5 on suggested price on Pay What You Want for 51 pages. And this is another thing from 4th edition. We just talked about the bloodied mechanic. Now we're going to talk about Epic Destinies. I did not play 4th edition, so I don't know exactly what Epic Destinies are. I think from reading it here that it's basically to allow your characters to continue either beyond 20th level or to sort of finalize how things are going to go for them once they've reached that level, and there's really much more they can do. It says it's designed to help the DM wrapping up a long-running campaign and secure your PC's permanent place in their world's legends. Each 5-level destiny has features that expand upon the epic boons in the Dungeon Master's Guide, with a capstone that ensures immortality. Break the rules with destinies like the Plane Shaper, who can change reality to suit their whims, the Thief of Legend, who can steal the intangible, the Emergent Primordial, who barely contains the elemental power within, or the Dark Wanderer, who can walk back home from the afterlife. So really cool. And it's exciting because it's on Pay What You Want. So you could pay nothing, try out the whole book, see if it works for you, and then come back and pay. Gives you a good option because you're getting to see 13 pages out of 51 here, but it's exciting that there's so much, because I mean this it said in the description there's very little art. It's focused on just content, so 51 pages of pure content. That's going to be a lot for you, which is great, especially with Pay What You Want price. So let's see here. It says extraordinary power. Compared to the standard character class, an Epic Destiny grants few benefits, but those it bestows are exceptional. Certain laws of the universe work differently for you, and some don't apply at all. Your race, class, background, and other character elements might define what you can do, but your Epic Destiny defines your place in the universe. Immortality. Each Epic Destiny defines your lasting impact on the world or even the universe, how people forever afterward remember and talk about you. Some people achieve lasting fame or notoriety without achieving an Epic Destiny, but that's a fleeting thing. Inevitably, those people are forgotten, lost in the murky depths of history. Your Epic Destiny ensures that your name and exploits live on forever. The end, perhaps most important, your Epic Destiny describes your character's exit from the world at large, and more specifically from the game. Once you've completed your final adventure, it lays out why, after so many adventures, you finally take your leave of the mortal realm and where you go next. So they can be chosen by players or assigned by the DM and tied into the campaign at large. Each character might find their own fates or share a common destiny. So really cool. And here it goes into the rules. It shows the boons and the advancement level, so you are going to go beyond level 20, which is really nice. So it's giving you another. I love books that are on the epic, what they call the epic area, which is beyond level 20. There's been a number of books done, and so I'm gonna have to get this one at some point too. Let's see. The following epic boons are available. So we've got Boon of Empathy. It's prerequisite proficiency in insight and persuasion. You can cast the spell Detect Thoughts, requiring no components and without using your concentration. Once you do so, you can't use this boon again until you finish a short rest. Additionally, you can use the first aid and help actions as a bonus action instead of an action. So it tweaks what you can do, defying some of the rules, right? And there's a bunch of those boons, and that's the whole point, is to make you more powerful than normal. So you should be able to defy some of the rules. So you've got Boon of Useful Items. You gain the benefits of wearing a robe of useful items and can choose which additional patches the robe has. Additionally, your weapons never run out of ammunition. When you take a long rest, you can choose to renew this ability and choose another set of additional patches. If you do so, everything created by prior uses of this ability vanishes and all removed patches are restored. So fun stuff. I mean, and that's just the beginning. Then here is one of those. You've got Harbinger. It says you are the chosen mortal servant of a greater power than yourself, a prophet to spread its message and increase its influence in the world. And then it gives you prerequisites of how you would get into this sort of path, this epic destiny. And then, what happens as a result, your immortality. they have this Halo feature, disciples, evangelists. I mean, just lots of cool stuff going on in here. And what's beautiful is you can come and read quite a bit of it, 13 full pages of what is going to be a content-heavy book. So lots of material for you to discover. And you can see even here in the table of contents, there's arcane destinies, primal destinies, planar destinies, martial destinies. So I think it's going to depend on the kind of class you are, what kind of destinies you have available to you, based on these names. So martial would be, martial classes, fighting stuff, and then arcane might be, like your mages or your wizard style characters, right? And then primal might be barbarian or druids. So I'm not sure exactly which ones go with which, but I'm sure you can discover that as you read through this. And again, you can pay what you want and do it at $0 to start, but I do encourage you to support Peter Oliver here for creating this. I mean, that's a lot of work, 51 pages of just pure content, and it's well written. I didn't see any typos. It was easy to read, varied sentence structure, which I always appreciate because sometimes people do run-on sentences, no punctuation, typos everywhere, right? So if you're going to have such heavy amount of content, at least make it readable, and it seems like Peter has done that. So that's awesome. And yeah, this is a really cool way to go past 20th level and bring back some of that 4th edition flair. Maybe you're missing that. Maybe you used to play 4th edition and you're like, where's my Destinies? Well, here they are. So check it out. It's under Epic Destinies in the links below. Give it a click. Next, we got Fey Friends with this really fun cover. You can see all these interesting characters peeking at this person here in the foreground, and they seem very very playful, but they could be dangerous, right? And it's by Paul Metzger and Kathleen Harrington. It's $8.88 for 33 pages. And it says 5 all-new Fey creatures with unique features at every level 1 through 20. The author of the platinum best-selling Sidekicks Essentials returns with 33 pages of Fey Friends to serve as sidekicks, NPCs, or even player classes. So bouncing as echoes through the worldfall, these new Fey denizens of Prismere exert their touch upon both the Feywild and the prime material plane. So yeah, these are they can be friends or foes. So the strength of these Fey creatures is variable, represented by the 20 different levels. Each creature is presented with a familiar stat block, and various modifications to the creature's statistics are presented as the creature increases in levels. An ideal role for these Fey are as sidekicks to the adventuring party, as they are designed to add interesting abilities and aid in the action economy rather than being overly powerful on their own. When using the creature as an NPC or monster, choose the level that seems appropriate to the party's level, and feel free to pick and choose from the abilities listed or insert your own. So it's very versatile. You're getting to either make these sidekicks, monsters, or NPCs, so 3 different options. And looking inside, here's one called Boldior, and we'll read this in a second, but I just want to show you. So there's like the traditional stat block here, and then it's saying first level, this is what its hit points and proficiency bonuses are, and then this is the action it has. But then when you get to second level, you can see the hit points go up to 20, and then you've got this additional ability called Earth Glide. And then third level, more health points, more abilities, and it just keeps going, right? So you can go through pages and pages of like, okay, at 13th level, this is what I can do. 14th level, 15th level, all the way up to the 20th level. And then you go on to another creature, the Hypnagogue. So really interesting structure, could work really well as a sidekick, especially since 1 to 20 on the levels it mirrors what the player is going through, right? So if you let's for whatever reason you decide to start your campaign with your characters already at level 3, then you would just say, okay, if I'm going to have Boldior be part of this, Boldior is going to have the first level, second level, and third level here already available. So this would be the full stat block, these first 3 sections plus that intro. So really cool concept, and I like the variability of it. So let's read about Boldior in detail here. So while hiking, you tripped on a jut of rock you swore hadn't been on the path a moment before. Later that night, your head constantly seemed tilted slightly downhill, regardless of how you oriented your bedroll. As the gale winds of the early morning thunderstorm drove the cold rain nearly sideways, you found a crevice at the base of a boulder just large enough to crawl into just before the sky began hurling hailstones the size of walnuts. These were the doings, mischievous and magnanimous, of a 𝘎𝙬𝙪. These Fey, most commonly found in the 𝘽𝙤 region of Prismeer, are spirits of the soil and rock and distant cousins to the elementals of the plane of earth. You can see the fun picture here of the 𝘎𝙬𝙪. So it could be frightening, but it seems like it would be helpful to you too with all these abilities. So let's just look at this third level ability, Kinetic Sand. As an action, the 𝘎𝙬𝙪 can loosen the earth in a 15-foot sphere originating at a point within 60 feet of itself. The area becomes difficult terrain. Any creature that enters the area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there must succeed on a strength saving throw or become restrained. A creature can use this action to repeat the saving throw, freeing itself on a success. The 𝘎𝙬𝙪 can also use this ability to aid when it or another creature could come to harm by falling. When an impact is imminent, the 𝘎𝙬𝙪 can use its reaction to soften the earth. The falling creature makes a Constitution saving throw, taking no falling damage on a successful save or half as much damage on a failed save. The effect lasts for 1 minute or until the 𝘎𝙬𝙪's concentration ends, as if concentrating on a spell. So yeah, very thematic. You got 𝘎𝙬𝙪 loosening the earth and doing these different things related to it, and all these different abilities. So definitely fits. And that's just one of the many sidekicks and friends and NPCs and monsters jam-packed into this 33-page book called Fey Friends. So look for it in the links below and give it a click. Next, we've got Eggwilv's Ill-Gotten Inventory. It says, steal from the Master Demonologist if you dare. $12.95 from Grimm Press and Christoph Langham. And it's 61 pages, already a best copper seller. It says, this collection of magic items found within the pages of this tome contain untold power, but at what cost? Every item has been cursed by the Witch Queen herself. While your players are sure to enjoy finding this loot scattered throughout their adventures, game masters will take delight in a secret as the curses and blights become known. So you've got 90 magic items, 17 demonic marks, 7 magic spells, and a total of 119 unique curses. So if you need some cursed magic items, then this will give you that. And look at the beautiful artwork, as usual, from Grimm Press here. You've got a stat block in here for a Stygian Lenorm. But yeah, you can see all kinds of stuff, even a broom called Witch's Broom of Everything. I want that. Sounds good. So let's look inside. You get to see 20 of those 61 pages. And so the content's got odd and unpleasant ends, and then it goes into marks and mortals. So there's all kinds of marks in here. You've got armor, weapons, elixirs, and staffs. And then here you can see attunement, the cost, the weight, the page it's on. So a summary table. I love when books do that. When you've got a summary table, because really helpful to see everything kind of together, the rarity, the attunement, all that stuff. You've got Boots of Draconic Stride, Boots of Goblin Assumption. So we'll find one to read in here. But I mean, beautiful artwork throughout. It's a big file, so it's taking a minute to load this or to scroll. But I think that's because it's got such beautiful artwork you can see in here. So you got a bandolier of demon slaying tonics and a flask of Twerney the Merciless and a key belt. Just so much good stuff. So let me go back up to the top here. And yeah, let's see what we got. Zoom in. Let's look at the Boots of Draconic Stride. So it's a wondrous item, uncommon. These red leather boots have golden tips and organic flame designs. Once per long rest, while wearing them, you can cast as 𝙬𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙬 Stride from Fizban's Treasury of Dragon. In addition, if you roll a 1 on the damage die for the casting of the spell, you can re-roll the die, but must use the new roll. Red dragons have advantage on attack rolls against you while you're wearing these boots. So interesting. I like that lesser curse. So red dragons have a little bit of an advantage. And then you've got boots of goblin assumption. Collared lightly above the ankle height, these beige boots are curved and pointed at their toes. Once per long rest as an action while wearing these boots, you can gain some of the traits of the goblin race. If you do so, you must take the dash and hide actions as a bonus action on your turn. Gain dark vision with a radius of 60 feet. Unless you already have dark vision from another source with a wider radius, and deal an additional amount of damage equal to your proficiency bonus when you damage a creature that is at least one size larger than yours with a weapon attack. You can also speak, read, and write Goblin. Once activated, the effects of these boots last a maximum of 1 hour, until you fall unconscious or die, or until you dismiss it as an action. While transformed by these boots, you appear as a goblin to any creatures other than yourself, though your game statistics, including your size, remain the same. So yeah, just fun little item that has a lesser curse that makes it a little different. And these curses aren't like earth-shattering, oh my god, I gotta get rid of this curse immediately. I mean, they're playful, interesting, and in the case of this dragon one, it may not even come up. So you may not even know you have a curse on it until the worst time to find out, which again makes for an interesting story. And the players are gonna be saying, oh my gosh, remember when I was in the middle of the fight with the red dragon and we realized that something was wrong, and so these are cool things to create memories with, and this book is packed with them. So check it out in the links below under Iggwilv's Ill-Gotten Inventory and give it a click. Next, we got The Legacy of Elandria. It's a 6 to 8 hour adventure for 20th level characters from Carl Terrence Vandal, $4.95 for 24 pages. It says the city-state of Elandria is a magnificent location to visit, particularly when you are representing your nation at the wedding of the crown prince to the princess of the local elven nation. However, no wedding goes entirely to plan. This adventure is a one-shot for 20th level characters, and its setting neutral and could easily be located in the border kingdoms of the Forgotten Realms or in Eberron. So very cool. 6 to 8 hours of play, 2 legendary creatures, 1 unique creature, 5 high definition maps. So very nice. Let's look inside. So you've got 24 pages, all the entirety of the book on display here for you to take a good look at it. So it's divided into 7 parts, and you've got creatures at the end. So you can see lots of flavor text to read at the beginning, which is nice. So maybe we'll read that for you. You can see there's some cool maps in here. Yeah, I love how much flavor text there is. It's always helpful to DM. Oh, this looks like it could be some sort of puzzle. Maybe not. But even if it's not, I mean, I love the stained glass sort of shining down on this, and then you've got the sarcophagus in the middle, so you can reuse these maps, right? So when you purchase these titles, keep in mind the reusability. Oh wow, that is gorgeous. Look at that map. It's a throne room of some kind, really cool. All kinds of monsters. Ooh, a second version of the throne room with stuff going on. And then you got the Carabeth, huge stat block with mythic actions, very cool. Skin Shifter, another one, Evoker, and you got legendary actions on the Skin Shifter. So you're getting a lot of usability out of these. But let's go back up here and read. I don't want to spoil too much, although I probably already have by looking at those maps. But it says here, the voyage has taken nearly 30 days. Ahead of the ship can be seen the cliffs that mark the coastline of 𝘎𝙤𝙘, and the city of Elandria looms in the distance. The lighter shading of blue waters, less salty air, and the sound of seabirds are all clear indications that you are approaching your destination. The sailors busily rush around the deck and rigging, with the mates shouting orders from the top deck. The captain, standing at the top deck railing, looking on with pride at his well-drilled crew. As you crest the horizon, the city of Elandria comes into view. Set atop the cliffs, the royal palace dominates the view of the city from the sea. As the ship approaches, the expanse of the city becomes apparent, though for such a heavily populated city, it is strangely quiet. Upon nearing the port, there are signs that something is amiss. For a city supposedly preparing for a royal wedding, there is very little in the way of decorations adorning the buildings. In fact, the flags across the city all appear to be flying at half-mast. So it starts with a little mystery. I love how it's like, when you're watching a movie and there's this sort of widescreen way far back wide shot of everything that you're approaching and what it looks like, the hustle and bustle, and then it sort of zooms in until you find out what's going on in the area. So that kind of has this feel. It's a really nice long flavor text box, which just really sets the stage, and I love to see those because it helps people. Maybe they've been looking at their phones, they've been talking, and when you have a long text box that kind of helps everybody get their headspace in the game, I think it's good because during that they can be calming down, getting quiet, and listening to this and letting it sort of wash over them, and then you go into the adventure. So really cool. You get to see the whole book, 24 pages of goodness, and it sounds like a really fun location. Got to find out why those flags are at half-mast, and go on your way with this 6 to 8 hour adventure. And for 20th level characters, you don't see a lot of adventures for 20th level. That's awesome that it's 20th level and those cool maps. So check it out. Legacy of Elandria. Links below. Give it a click. Next, we've got the Party Tracker Pack from Game Masters, one of my fellow YouTubers. And if you haven't subscribed to Game Masters, you should go do that. Game Masters produces a lot of really fun videos. And this is a really fun set of sheets or forms that Game Masters has released. It's pay what you want, suggested price of $0 for the 2 pages, and it's a no bloat, no frills party tracker sheet. And Game Master says, yep, there are other party trackers out there. All are pretty much the same, but this one is made as a major thank you to the supporters of Game Masters. And you get version 1 is to track a party of 8 players and has campaign nodes, and then the other page removes the campaign nodes and adds 2 additional party members, so you can have 10. But you can also use it to track NPCs, monsters, or anything else. And it's really cool. I was looking at it earlier, and it's so nice that Game Masters is giving this away, because you get the essentials, right? You can jot these down. Maybe you can punch 3 holes in this, put it in a binder, put it in a folder. You've got the second page, which has 8 versions. I mean, just so many things that can be captured here with really quickly. You even have room for your modifiers on the ability scores. And it takes me back, because this little shield symbol, I remember that on some older forms from back in the day. And it's just great. Something about writing out your character stuff and just having it all nice and neat is just can be really fun. And I saw that this was for free and from another awesome YouTuber, and I was like, oh, I got to share this with my viewers so they can get something free and find out about Game Masters. And if you're feeling kind, throw some money in there to support Game Masters, who does really great work with YouTube and with stuff like this. So check it out in the links below under Party Tracker Pack and give it a click. Next, we've got Spells of Antiquity Volume 4, and this is the revised spell compendium letter D. So 𝙤𝙘 Homebrew is converting spells from the 3.5 book called Spell Compendium, and 𝙤𝙘's working through the letters, and this particular letter is D, and it's 14 pages. And it's just exciting to get these spells brought back to life from 3.5 that a lot of people loved, and maybe they're missing. So you can see there's everything from 0 level, like Deep Breath, Distract, etc., all the way up to Death Ward Mass Death Ward for level 8. So tons of spells under letter D, just so many. And this table sees who they're being assigned to. And some of them, are being assigned to Artificer, because Artificer did not exist back in 3rd edition. So it's nice that Artificer also gets some love in here. And then you've got all the spells, and you're getting to see the entire book here, which again, I think is so kind of 𝙤𝙘 to allow that. But let's find a really cool one that we can look at. So you've got Doomtide. It's a 5th level illusion. It's a range of 90 feet, and its concentration up to 10 minutes. You fill a 20-foot radius sphere with illusory black creeping mist that vaguely resembles thousands of slender grasping tentacles centered on a point each used within range. It lasts for the duration or until strong wind disperses the mist, ending the spell. Its area is heavily obscured. When a creature enters the spell's area for the first time on a turn or starts its turn there, that creature must make a wisdom saving throw. The creature takes 2d12 damage and is stunned until the start of its next turn on a failed save, or half as much damage and is not stunned on a successful one. The mist moves 20 feet away from the point where it was cast at the start of your turns, rolling along the surface of the ground. The mist, being heavier than the air, sinks to the lowest level of the land, even pouring down openings. When you cast it, and then there's upcasting. But what I don't see is what kind of damage it does. Maybe I missed it, but it just says takes 2d12 damage, so I'm not sure what kind. But seems like a fun spell. And then you've got Distracting Ray. You fire a dazzling ray at a creature in range that you can see. The target must make a wisdom saving throw, taking 48 psychic damage on a failed save, or half as much damage on a successful one. On a failed save, the target also has disadvantage on con saving throws that they make to maintain their concentration on a spell for the next minute. And then some upcasting damage changes, which is cool. I love upcasting. Very cool. I mean, again, it's always exciting to see these spells brought back to life and available for people. So check it out under Spells of Antiquity 4 in the links below and give it a click. Next, we've got 13 Bounty Hunter NPCs, and it is for 5th edition, of course, and it's by J.W. Rose. And it says, need to rein in that pesky gang of murder hobos who just seem to be causing trouble, but the local guards don't have the manpower to deal with them. Well, consider hunting them down with one or more of these powerful bounty hunters. So you get basically 13 NPCs, including Eliza Goldensun, a CR 11 human sorcerer who uses blood magic and enchantments to capture her targets. The Hellion, a CR 5 dwarf monster hunter burdened with a terrible curse wrought by the mighty Stormlord. Verglas, a CR 13 ice genasi who seeks targets with a divine conviction to punish the guilty with her rime-crusted hammer. So already 3 really interesting sounding characters, and you could see them tying in, the sorcerer with the blood magic, maybe they find a drop of blood from, one of the party members and they're using that to track them, or the dwarf monster hunter has a terrible curse and maybe they were hunting a monster, so that's how this dwarf monster hunter, heard of them first and then got assigned the job to sort of hunt them. Or maybe it's competition, so he's hunting them instead. But really cool concepts already, and that's without even looking inside. So you get to see 10 of those 17 pages, and you got all the names here, Whip all the way to Verglas. And you've got the Hunter Gallery, gives you kind of information overview on the different characters, and then you get into their full stat blocks with their tactics, all sorts of information about them. So let's look at 𝘎𝙤𝙀 𝘎𝙁. 𝘎𝙤𝙀 𝘎𝙁 is a humble servant, a master of all thieves. 𝘎𝙁 pursues a holy mission in order to gain entrance to the Circle of the Grey Ribbon, a special order of his faith. As a bounty hunter, 𝘎𝙤 specifically targets other high-profile thieves, believing that he can catch the greatest of thieves. Surely he deserves recognition from his deity. And then he's got his personality traits, ideals, bonds, and flaws, including personality trait. I see omens in every event and action. The gods try to speak to us. We just need to listen. And then dead or alive, 𝘎𝙤 isn't a cold-blooded killer and will typically take his targets alive unless it's necessary for him to protect his own life. And payment, 𝘎𝙤 prefers his payment in coin, but will accept precious gemstones or valuable information. And 𝘎𝙤 is loyal to his faith in the Shadow Lord and believes it is his holy calling to hunt thieves who don't deserve his deity's favor. And then tactics, 𝘎𝙤 is a natural trickster and uses deception to his advantage by using invoked duplicity. 𝘎𝙤 can set up a powerful takedown using his giant cleaver or inflict wound spell. If 𝘎𝙤 can surprise his target, he might use polymorph to transform the target into a crab, catch them up, and make a quick escape to a location with a prepared cage or some other trap. So very nice. Yeah, I love that. It's really cool characters. I mean, you could just never have enough of these characters. I think they're, having them as background characters, even if they're not going to hunt the party, they could just be a character that's either competing with the party, in the background, a minion of somebody else, a big bad for your adventure. I mean, so many options, and I love that there's tactics. I love that there's what they prefer payment, all these different things. So if you're looking for this, look for it under 13 Bounty Hunters in the links below and give it a click. Next, we have The Traveler's Guide to the Multiverse by Lewanika Miller, Glenn Myers, and Josh Newton. They're the hosts of the Tabletop Journeys podcast. And if you have not heard that podcast, it's one of my favorites. So you need to Google it and follow them, subscribe, do all that stuff, right? Because their podcasts are really fun and informative and entertaining, which is above all what you want from a podcast, right? But look at this really fun cover. It's giving you this feeling that you're going to be going through the multiverse and traveling and doing cool stuff. And with the upcoming Mordenkainen Presents Monsters of the Multiverse coming out, there's a lot of multiverse talk, right? So getting something like this now is a really good idea because there's lots of multiverse stuff happening. And it's $8.99 for 65 pages. So it says that you can journey with the Tabletop Journeys crew through the strange celestial backdrop of the multiverse as the mysterious traveler reveals what they have learned through the ages. There's backgrounds, feats, equipment, and story hooks galore. You have everything to make your next campaign legendary. It's also part of a bundle down here for $10.70. You get 3 books, including some of their other books from this group. And they're just so fun. I really love listening to them. They clearly understand the game and have a lot of history and love for it. So I'm sure any book they do is going to just really have that depth that you want from your creators. And so you get to see 6 of the pages in here, and you can see they've got wonderful artwork throughout, really nice layout, looks very wizard-like, Wizards of the Coast-like, which is nice. So they've got some backgrounds at the beginning here. You've got Cosmic Stowaway, which is going to have all the traditional stuff here, but then there's also some feats that are connected down here too, which is really fun. So let's read about the Cosmic Stowaway. You knew the strange merchant ship could fly when you snuck aboard, but you needed to be anywhere else but here. Watching your homeworld shrink into the distance as the strange vessel soared into wild space was a little more than you bargained for, though. At least the ship's captain was merciful when you were discovered. They decided not to cast you adrift in the flow if you proved you could earn your keep. So you attacked every menial task they handled you as though your life depended on it, because it did. Over the next years, you worked your way into the merchant privateer captain's good graces and visited dozens of amazing new worlds across the prime material plane. The constantly changing cultures and civilizations taught you to read people and situations regardless of language. That innate sense of who to trust or when to flee became a skill your captain and crew relied on, and it saved the ship on more than one occasion. So you get athletics, navigator's tools, a language of your choice, explorer's pack, and it says your feature, earn your keep. You like being alive and you are not afraid to get your hands dirty and work yourself to the bone to stay that way. Between your vast multicultural experience and your breakneck work ethic, you can always find work in a settlement of any size regardless of the language barriers. Your storyteller will determine what type of job and compensation you are able to obtain based on your skills and the needs of the community. This feature will always provide at least a squalid lifestyle, meager rations, and a dry place to sleep for yourself and any companions that assist with the work. And then you've got your personality traits, your ideals here. So let's look at a couple of those. So personality trait, I live for the excitement of discovering new worlds and distant horizons. I can be a bit stubborn and headstrong once I decide something right or wrong. It is very difficult to change my mind. And then the third one is, all of the multiverse will be mine to pillage and plunder one day when I have my own ship. So that's really fun. And some of this stuff is referencing, wild space and ships, etc. So if the rumors are true that Spelljammer is coming later this year, then you're going to be well positioned by getting this book now, because there's all these references that will become even more relevant as time goes on, and eventually I'm sure Spelljammer or something like it will come back, even if it's not this year. So again, very, very good connection to have. Under ideals, duty. In the deep black, when lives are on the line, that's when following orders and trusting my crew to do the same can mean the difference between reaching a safe port or drifting listless and cold in the flow. And then Wanderlust. My feet have always followed their own path, and now that I have discovered an entire cosmos to explore, I can never settle in one place for long. Chaotic. So you get all the different options, for the different alignments. And then down here, you've got some feats. So let's look at elemental nature. For air, you are descended from or empowered by creatures from the elemental plane of air, granting you the following benefits. Increase your dexterity, charisma, or wisdom score by 1 to a maximum of 20. You learn the spells Levitate and Witch Bolt. You can cast each of these spells once without expending a spell slot. Once you cast either of these spells in this way, you can't do so again until you finish a long rest. You can also cast these spells using spell slots you have at the appropriate level. The spell's spellcasting ability is the ability increased by this feat. So cool, you get to increase your scores. You get Levitate and Witch Bolt. Those are fun spells, and you can cast them without expending a spell slot. So really nice. And they've got one for each of the different elements. And then you've got equipping your traveler. I mean, we're just barely into this book, and we've already seen so many good things. You've got all the characteristics. I mean, these are cool characteristics you could even give to an NPC, right? They don't have to be necessarily for this background, although the Cosmic Stowaway is a fun background. And then I like these feats, and that there's one for each element. If you have anything that you're creating, homebrew or otherwise, that has an elemental feature to it, maybe there's an elemental list class out there that you've incorporated. You could put these feats alongside that, or maybe you're going to have like an elemental themed campaign. I mean, just so many possibilities, and I love it. I love seeing things aligned and organized together like that, and it just seems like this is a really fun journey. You've got you can see here this background, the Uncaged, and it talks about themes that you can explore and storyteller prompts. Says with their entire fortune invested in this trip, how much of a reward can the merchant offer? Does he have enough funds to offer a cash reward, or will the payment be contingent on the safe return and the successful sale of his creatures? So this is, the party has to deal with these broken cages of owned by somebody with these creatures that used to be in it. So it's just, I like how it's asking you questions and helping you kind of think through it on your own, as opposed to just feeding you everything, right? Because these questions, again, can lead to like 5 different adventure ideas that you can jot down as you're sort of thinking it through. I could go this way, but I could go that way. Well, why not both? Why not put them both down on paper and save some for later, right? So fun. I really am excited that they put out another title, because I want all of you to know about them, because I really enjoy listening to their podcast, and I think you will too. So check out their podcast, Tabletop Journeys, and also check out this awesome Traveler's Guide to the Multiverse in the links below. Give it a click. Next, we got the Ultimate Adventurer's Handbook, and it's already a bestseller in its first week, and it's from Benjamin Huffman, Ross Leiser, Willie Abeel, Leon Barillo, Arrow, and a lot of other people. And it's available $39.95 as a PDF, or you can do the hardcover premium color for $91, or the combo for $91. And it is 313 pages. And it says it's the ultimate resource for creating new characters to play. Within this book, you'll find new races, subclasses, feats, spells, magic items, and more, in addition to new options available in every class published by Wizards of the Coast, as well as Matt Mercer's Bloodhunter. This book features updated and expanded versions of 2 popular DM's Guild classes, the Accursed and the Pugilist. So really, really cool. And, Benjamin Huffman has been doing good work for so long. I was excited to see that Benjamin had something new out, because I don't think I've seen anything from Benjamin since I started this series. Almost a year we've been doing this series now. And so I was excited. I finally get to talk about Benjamin, because I've read Benjamin's previous work and really, really enjoy it. So to have 313 pages is really cool. And I mean, look at it. There's so much stuff in here, and really fun little borders. It looks like the borders kind of have icons that show you, okay, what section of the book we're in, and it's kind of highlighted, okay, we're on this section or that section, which once you get into the print version is going to be really cool. So at some point I'm going to have to get the print version, I think, of this. So yeah, it's just looks really fun. Okay, let's look inside. So you can see they go into the races, and then they've got adventuring paths, which would be like your subclasses, right? And then down here you've got all these classes. So you've got the Accursed, and the pugilist, and then some additional stuff for the blood hunter. And what I think is really awesome about this book is a lot of books just do like the official classes. Maybe they go into the blood hunter, but they've gone beyond that. You know, and Benjamin has worked on classes before, like the pugilist, and so to bring those in as well is just really action packed, making this book have so much stuff. And it's got feats, skills, and all kinds of equipment. You got weapons, magic items, etc. And you can see really nice artwork throughout as well. So you get to see 50 pages. I mean, 50 pages in the preview. That's really helpful. So you got the Grimalkin, half dwarf, just so much stuff. The 𝙬𝙤𝙤𝙠𝙨, that's a cute character. Yeah, look at the beautiful artwork. And Lemurians, Oculus, Ratter. I mean, it just goes on. So many cool things in here. And then you get down to the additional artificial spells. So you get, like Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, they're giving you some optional features or some alternate features, whether it's additional spells or things that they can do. And then you're getting into those classes like the cognition here. So fun. I'm so excited. I want to come up here and read about the Oculus for you. So looks really fun. So it says, oculi are telepathic humanoids whose bodies are entirely made up of a single eye. Though they are shaped as most other bipedal humanoids are, with arms, legs, and a neck and a head, each oculi has a single pupil that can be moved anywhere on the surface of its body, allowing it to see at any angle. So you've got the all-seeing eyes. Oculi do not have bodily orifices such as ears, mouths, noses, or others. They experience taste, sound, and smell through a shallow and near imperceptible membrane that surrounds their bodies, detecting and interpreting subtle stimuli. Oculi feed by absorbing nutrients through this membrane from bacteria and other microorganisms. An oculus can also eat more than traditional foodstuffs by slowly absorbing the nutrients through contact with its membrane. Each oculus has a uniquely colored iris surrounding its large pupil, often with a myriad of intertwining colors. Other than body size and shape, these unique irises are the only way to tell individual oculi apart. An oculus, while aware of bodily harm, does not experience pain as other creatures do. When an oculus's body has sustained enough damage, it will immediately enter a repair state that acts similarly to another creature's unconscious state. But I mean, look at this artwork, this sort of living eye with the bipedal structure as well. And then you've got all this other information, and then you get into the names and the traits. So there's, I mean, 2 pages on a race is really good, especially for third party. I mean, you don't always get that much detail. So you've got all this information here about the different abilities. So let's see some of those. So eye-open oculi do not need to sleep but must enter a resting state for 8 hours. Oculus perception, whenever you make a perception check using sight, you add double your proficiency bonus. Telepathy, you can speak telepathically to creatures within 60 feet of you. And all kinds of stuff. They got the sub races here with the Oculus Inquisitive and the Vigilant. Yeah, I mean, just awesome. I'm so excited. Benjamin has released something new, and when I finally have time to do something, maybe I can get this and read it, because I've been crazy busy. But yeah, this looks really cool. I'm just super excited that it exists and that there's so much in here for people. And I love this sort of sidebar thing. So whoever did the layout, good job on that. And let's see if we can see who that is. So yeah, Nathaniel Rue. Yeah, very good. And Nathaniel Rue does a lot of really cool templates that I've used out here in Dean's Guild as well. So good job. Shout out to you. Yes, it's awesome. Ultimate Adventurer's Handbook. I really do think it is the ultimate. It has so much stuff. It's 313 pages and just so much stuff to do. And it's already a bestseller seller, so people know that it's here and they want it. And as I said, Benjamin is a great creator, and lots of other people are involved too. I know I'm talking about Benjamin because I'm just excited to see something new from Benjamin, but there's a lot of other people, Sean Vestera, Matthew Whitby, Jasmine Yang. I mean, I can't list them all, but there's a lot of people involved in this, and it's exciting. So check it out under Ultimate Adventurer's Handbook and give it a click. Next, we have Untold Subclasses, Highwayman. Options for odd characters or unexpected NPCs. It's mounted rogue archetype from Keith Hiscox for $1.95, 6 pages. And so you get the new rogue archetype, you get 2 optional feats, and an NPC stat block, which I always like to see with subclasses. And it says it's meant to be used in conjunction with the rogue class, as well as the options in Natasha's Cauldron of Everything. And then the chase rules, you're going to need those, it says, from the Dungeon Master's Guide. It says, we've tried to hit all the genre beats of the typical Highwayman narrative without overloading the subclass with features. In order to manage this, we have employed elements of the assassin and swashbuckler wording, whilst reining in the breadth of scope under these conditional features, under which these conditional features apply. So, cool. So let's take a look inside. So you get, here's the rogue archetype, and saying stand and deliver. We think the subclass is written pretty snazzy, but then we would say that, wouldn't we? Even so, there are feats available in the optional rules. We'd be remiss if we didn't try to squeeze in some additional roguish action out of those for the games where the DM includes them. Depending on the existence of black powder weapons, taking either the crossbow expert feat or the gunner feat suits for the subclass. So yeah, I love how they're playing on the sort of the tropes of Highwaymen. And so you've got here at the end, you've got the dashing Highwayman NPC stat block, and then some optional feats like experienced sneak attacker and fence goods. So fence goods, you have advantage on skill checks made to convince others to buy stolen goods. In addition, when selling mundane items that would usually sell for just 50% of their listed value, you get an additional percentage equal to double your proficiency bonus. Very cool. So let's look at one of the features of the rogue archetype as well. Aggravated theft. It's a 9th level feature. You gain the ability to stare down opponents, forcing them to blink first. As a bonus action, you can make an intimidation check against a creature you can see that can also see you, contested by the target's insight check. If you succeed, you can use your sneak attack against that target, even if you don't have advantage on the attack roll, but not if you have a disadvantage on it. All the other rules for sneak attack still apply to you. These benefits last for a number of rounds equal to half your rogue level rounded up, or until you successfully use this feature against a different target. In addition, you have advantage on charisma, intimidation, or persuasion rolls made to make an intelligent creature who can understand you surrender valuable objects to you. So very thematic, as usual with these classes from Keith. Subclasses, they are very thematic, very well thought out. It's obvious Keith spends a lot of time researching and looking into this stuff before writing it, because Keith is able to incorporate so much in terms of expectations and maybe little known things about these sort of tropes and things out there, because this is part of a series of Untold Subclasses. So we've enjoyed looking at quite a few on the channel. So check it out under Untold Subclasses Highwayman and give it a click. Next, we have Volo's Vetted Vendors, a complete collection of 20 stupendous shops and their proprietors. And it's from a bunch of people, including T.M. Van Dalen, Vasil White, Gene Brode Jr., Jeff C. Stevens, Joanna DeLune, Marius Bruner, Matt Kimberlin, Matthew Whitby, Purple Bog Press, Sticky Hunter, and Sven Truckenbrot. So lots of good people. It's a best silver seller already in its first week. And Matt Kimberlin is one of the writers who has worked with me on every one of my books and is working with me on my new one. So I can vouch for Matt, as well as a lot of these other creators are great, and so I'm very excited to see this title come out. It's $9.99 PDF, and you can get a standard color for $19.99, or you can get a combo of both of them for $19.99. It's already got 5 ratings with an average rating of 5 stars, 68 pages. This is the best shops of the Forgotten Realms. Volothamp Gedarm is back. After years of research, Volo's Vetted Vendors is the humble scribe's latest work. Wherever your adventures take you, this book will be your guide to the local businesses. Whether you're looking for a place to sleep, somewhere to stock up on supplies, or simply a place to get a great mug of ale, Volo has got you covered. This book includes 20 unique establishments and their proprietors, together with a list of wares offered, delectable details about the owner, and other adventure seeds to inspire your campaign. You also get a printer-friendly version PDF file with all the monsters and a high-res map of the general store. So really cool to have a map of the general store. Some quotes from some well-known luminaries in the TTRPG space, backing up the quality of this book, which is nice. And then it's got some example shops, and you can see just looking through here how nice it looks in print or digital as well. So it says, located in the trades ward of Waterdeep, the Cake Whisperer is an unassuming high-end bakery. Unbeknownst to the general public, the widow uses this place as the hub of her spy network. It says, you never know where you'll encounter Formy's serendipitous grand exchange. Whatever the place, just know that Formy has an offer for you that is tempting as it is strange. And 𝙎𝙬𝙧𝙬𝙧 Tattoos and Other Artistry is a tattoo shop located in the dwarven stronghold of Mirabar. Inside of the shop, customers can purchase 𝙎𝙬𝙧 services, both mundane and magical. So really fun, and from a bunch of great people. So, I mean, who doesn't need shops? If you're a GM, there's going to be people that are like, oh, I need this, I need a tattoo, I need that. And, and you're like, oh, now I got to go make an NPC. I just don't have time for all this. They're going way off track of the story. So having a book like this just sitting there ready to go and be able to say, well, you want a tattoo shop? Well, I got one. There's 𝙎𝙬𝙧 Tattoos and Other Artistry, because even though these are set in Forgotten Realms, they're loosely set, right? So you can use them in other places, and so being able to say, hey, okay, I've got a tattoo shop for you, or I've got this other vendor. I mean, there's 20 different ones here. So I'm pretty sure between this and your imagination, you're going to be able to cover all the situations you need where there is a vendor involved or a store involved or a shop or whatever, right? So looking inside, you get to see 20 of those 68 pages, and you can see all the different little places that are covered. There's a bunch of them. There's a place called Hambones and the Cozy Turtle and the Cake Whisperer. I mean, really fun names. And then you can see the different designers here. Just so many people involved. So let's zoom in a little bit here. And then you've got Volothamp kind of weighing in on things and talking about stuff, so you get to read some sort of in-character stuff if you want as well. So here's this Eggstravaganza's hoard, and it can be in any remote cave, and then it tells you where it would be in the Forgotten Realms. So again, loosely connected. So don't let Forgotten Realms on the title throw you if you don't play in the Forgotten Realms. This works for anything, but it does tell you where it would be in the Forgotten Realms if you want that. And then you've got all this lore, and then you've got the drama stuff, information on the drama, and price list, personality traits of Eggstravaganza, and really cool stuff. And then you got Boundless Brew, another one. And the owner with some fun artwork and how to role play Charlotte, and the price list, and lots of information on what's there. There's some drama, and it just keeps going. You've got Caitlin's concoctions, which is got a potion shop, it looks like, and then you've got Formy's serendipitous grand exchange, and Fortuna's fabulous trifles. And it says it is a shop that is believed by many to have multiple storefronts across the Forgotten Realms. In truth, this shop is one of a kind, but it exists in the Feywild with portals to every major city and quite a few minor ones across the Sword Coast and beyond. When one steps into the shop, they perceive the door that they arrive through as the primary shop door. Characters with a passive perception of at least 20 will also notice that there are dozens of doors of various sizes throughout the shop, but they will only be able to pass through the door from which they entered. Very cool. And then you've got Fortuna, the Archfey of Commerce, appears as a bronze-skinned, middle-aged elven woman with emerald eyes and golden hair, wears opulent robes of rich purple and deep blue that conceal her lithe body. And then you've got role-playing her, and then down here, there's the Trifles drama. So the doors of Fortuna's shop are in disarray rather than being returned to the place from which they entered the shop. Patrons exiting the shop find themselves in a place the prior patron entered from. The party finds themselves in a strange place and or time after leaving the shop when the door to the shop disappears. So what you're seeing here, and this is what I suspected anyway, is that these shops are more than just shops. They can be gateways to story, which is what we love, especially dungeon masters, right? They need story opportunities. And so a store where the doors are taking you to the wrong place is a great story. You know, especially if you're in the middle of an adventure and you want to completely change it to something else. I mean, you can have them be way, way far away from the original location. Here's the second drama. It says, a staircase has appeared in Fortuna's shop. Fortuna offers a trinket to each person willing to go down the staircase and clear it out of any dangers. Unknown to Fortuna, the staircase leads deep into the Fey Dark. Very cool. You got the price list, all these different prices of the different things sold there. So true crystalline mirrors fused back to back, a gray rock in the shape of a perfect pyramid, a chunk of fossilized unicorn poop. I mean, just so much stuff. And that's just one. So we'll find another one to look at as well. So we're talking about the tattoo shop. So you've got, it says, victorious in battle, commemorate it with the tattoo. Want something artistic with real power, both magical and mundane options are offered here at 𝙎𝙘𝙧 Tattoos and Other Artistry. Tucked away down a cobblestone street in the stonemasons quarter in southeastern Mirabar sits a small, unassuming shop. Its drab stone exterior belies the artistic wonders found within. Inside the shop, the dim lighting cannot hide the many intricately beautiful sketches and paintings covering the walls. It's clear that an artist of true talent resides here. And then you get to find out about role-playing 𝙎𝙘𝙧, and then there's some information on the tattoos and artistry drama. And then you've got a whole section on magical tattoos and a price list, which is really cool. So let's see what it says. It says, a talking eldritch cat who obviously knows 𝙎𝙘𝙧 well comes in complaining about people skipping out on their bill at the nearby inn and wants someone to teach them a lesson. If the players seem interested, the cat engages the party to track down the bill skips and bring them back for a reward of 50 GP. Another one is, a drunken patron, Declan Firechaser, is loudly insisting on his right to get a tattoo despite his inebriated state and clear sign on the wall requiring sobriety. 𝙎𝙘𝙧 is doing a fine job of kicking him out of the shop until suddenly he reverts to his Oni form. So yeah, these little encounters in here are really fun. They're packed in here. You get a lot of those with these awesome shops. You've got potion shops, just every kind of shop. And I think that's exciting. And I love that it's also print on demand for only, $20 basically. So really cool. So I think you should check it out in the video description links under Volo's Vetted Vendors and give it a click. Before I talk about our first DriveThruRPG title this week, let me remind you to please subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave us a comment. I will respond to all comments, and follow us everywhere at Splinterverse on all the social media channels so you can get those exclusive discounts and find out what's next. We have a book coming out very soon, so we want to make sure you are the first to hear about it. So stay tuned for that, as well as the free content we give out throughout the week. All right, our first title is Dungeon Age Battle for Carrion Vale. And look at this fun cover. It is $3.99 from Dungeon Age Adventures, and it's for OSR, but it's also 5th edition compatible, and it's 39 pages. It says, this morning the forces of law and chaos clashed at Castle Yenneghor. The battle raged all day, but as darkness fell, a cataclysmic explosion destroyed most of the castle and leveled both armies. Now as night claims the Vale, flickers of life return. Survivors make camp, flee the field, or continue the fight. Scavengers creep over the dead, and one question remains unanswered. What happened inside the castle? This is a dark sandbox adventure. Players take the role of battlefield survivors. They can choose which side they are on, or neither, and they can choose their goal, such as to escape the field with their lives, to plunder the dead, or to reach the castle and finish the mission. So it's mid-level, combat, diplomacy, battlefield, all these types, and it's got characters levels 6 to 7. You got 30 unique horror locations, 70 magic items, 30 plus monsters, a map with multiple illustrations, estimated playtime 1 to 4 sessions, 4 to 16 hours. And so there's 2 different PDF files. There's one for 5th edition style games, and then one for old school games. So again, I love that. I always love to see titles that give you multiple, versions of the game, because that just extends the playability, extends that value. And for $3.99 to get 2 playable versions for 2 different versions, that's huge. So really, really cool. And I'm excited to see that. So let's take a look inside. I'm not sure if we're looking. Okay, it says it looks like, yeah, this is 5th edition. So we've got the 5th edition version we're looking at. And really, I always like the layout. They do a 3-column layout with Dungeon Age Adventures, and I like it. Look at this cool map. Shows the battlefield, it looks like, and other locations like the moat, courtyard, etc. Roaring bonfire, tattered shipwreck, almost like a hex, but not a hex shape. I like all the little trails going through here. So at any location, the players can choose to search for useful items, have them roll 2d6 and report the results. So you get to go through this whole list here and see what kind of things they could find, like a muddy shovel, a bloody wheelbarrow, a broken coffin, and a frayed noose. And then you've got this whole random encounter section where you can roll for the faction, which side they're on, the individuals, and so they're deserting in terror or they're making camp for the night, ambushing forces of law, etc. And these are reusable. All these things, the search list, the factions, reusable. Love it. So here you've got your Castle Ягnar Smoking Keep. High within the broken stone walls of the castle keep, a roiling column of black smoke rises around a glimmer of blue light. Crushed furniture, shattered glass, and cracked stones litter the edges of the roofless room. And then it links to these different things. So perceive. Inside the smoke, a young man in black robes and a scarred woman in silver armor grapple over the golden skull of Saint Aranek, its eye sockets glowing blue in their hands. And then waves of magical energy pour off of them. They are battling with unseen powers to control the skull. It would be dangerous to touch them. So, and then if you search the litter, you find a silver sword or a black rod. So I like how they structure this, and then they have options. So, and then treasure, right? Super organized, really easy to follow. Things are grouped together that go together, and you've got all this fun artwork throughout. Yeah, I really like what they're doing at Dungeon Age. I think they're doing really cool things, especially providing 5th edition and OSR in one. I mean, that's huge. So yeah, you can see how that continues throughout each of the numbered points of interest. So Western Vale, Grey Tins, and you've got all the information, what's in it, what's inside, the campfires, the corpses, danger, treasure. I mean, just... And it's really easy with your finger to just go, okay, where's the area? I need information on the area or the approach, to just find it, because they've done this kind of checklist style, and I love that. And here's the Grey Tent, so 27, right? So that ties to that that we were talking about earlier. There's 20 over here on the left in Sunflower Fields. You got 27 Grey Tents. So very cool. I love this. I think they're doing great work, and the versatility of it, the reusability of it, the organization of it, it just really stands out to me. So check it out under Battle for Carrion Vale in the links below and give it a click. Next we have Castles and Crusades NPC Almanac Sketches with this gorgeous cover. I love it. And it's from Troll Lord Games. It's on sale right now for $19.99. 288 pages. And Castles and Crusades is OSR, style game. So, it's got kind of D20 meets OSR. So, really relevant for people that like D&D. And NPCs, NPCs for any version of the game can be easily ported, usually from one to the other. So this would be even helpful for 5th edition. But it says NPCs play a variety of roles, from the barkeep at the tavern that passes on juicy rumors for a few coins to the well-paid henchman who drags the wounded character to safety and healing. This almanac consists of collections of long and short NPC entries, both class-based and hirelings or adherents. These NPC entries include all the info you need to place the NPC in your game and begin play. They contain name, complete description, a little background, gender, appearance, personality, hook, alignment, and where called for level they have as well. Primary attributes, secondary attributes, armor, all that good stuff. So really cool. And they have another book that also came out, The Register. So it's down here, and these kind of go together. So you might want to get both of them at the same time. But we only cover one title per publisher per week, so couldn't cover both this week. But I did want to point out that there's another one down there as well to consider. So here you go. You've got this big list of information. You've got villains, you've got caravans, you've got monstrous NPCs, NPC parties. So that's really cool. You could go up against the Seven or Sabine's Lot as a rival party. Then you've got class-based NPCs like Arcane Thief Short, Assassin Long, meaning long description. Just so many different ones. You've got apothecaries, girdlers, grinders, farmers, houndmasters, innkeepers, jailers, taxers, tax collectors, tanners. I mean, just endless. And I just think it's really cool. You got adherents, and they've got information on the races. So we don't get to read too much in here, but I'm sure, Troll Lord Games always does really good stuff. And, 288 pages. There's going to be a ton of information for you on these NPCs. So you gotta, if you need some NPCs, I would encourage you to check this out. Also check out the other one down below. See which one or both, is going to work for you. But I think this art alone is just beautiful. And it really is perfect for this book, because how many NPCs are in this picture? You've got guards, you've got the jester, you've got sort of a cook character, just all kind of pickpocket here. Musician. It's just perfect for this. So check it out under Castles and Crusades NPC Almanac sketches in the links below, and give it a click. Next, we've got Corpus Angeles from Dream Realm Storytellers, or DRS Publishing, with this stunning cover, and it's $29.99, normally $34.99. It's 366 pages, 5th edition. And it's a book filled with stuff of heroes, with righteous stories of angels and the brave warriors, clerics, and soldiers that support them in their never-ending struggle to snuff out evil. New content and new roles of the righteous that can be used by players and game masters alike. As a player, you can use this book to flesh out your heroes and that's your stories, using more than 30 archetypes, 6 races, and over 100 spells. And then as a game master, you can use a system of devotions past, find ways bringing back the most lost souls through the system of redemption, and find new ways to bring evil to its knees through the many more thrilling mechanics in the book. This can be used for good and evil, because, you need both to kind of highlight the other. So even if you're having like an evil campaign, you could use this as people trying to struggle against it. So some really, and it looks gorgeous. Look at how beautiful this layout is. I definitely want to get this book. So you've got the table of contents. You can see you've got all the character options, offerings of angelic power, orders of the masters. Just so much stuff in here in these 366 pages. And then you've got the philosophy of good, and just look at the beautiful artwork throughout. Then you've got the angelic races, the angel, the angelic, just beautiful. So much detail put into this. This is really, they've spent a lot of time making this look so nice. They've got a new class called the Paragon. And just the artwork alone is going to make this book worth it. And I think it's reasonably priced, considering, how many pages it is, for sure. So I encourage you to keep that in mind. So looking at the class, let's read a little bit about it. I want to find the general description here. Paragons are those who dedicate their lives to the holy and the sacred. Although they are not spellcasters like clerics or paladins, they gain the power to wield the language of the gods themselves, and they become more and more like their deities as they become more powerful. Their devotion is unquestionable and their dedication unbreakable. So you've got absolute devotion. Clerics have access to their deities' domains and can cast spells or create wonders through them. Paladins live by tenets and make oaths to their gods, empowering themselves through martial practices and faith. Paragons, on the other hand, are a result of an unnatural level of devotion. Becoming a paragon requires years of training. So throughout the challenging years of training, they have their faith alone to sustain and protect them. In their training, they are tested over and over again, And when they're done, they become paragons, the very best of their clergy. Only then are their bodies and souls ready to learn the mystic realities of godly powers. At this point, they start to learn the sacred language, the language of all things holy, and gain the ability to transform into an avatar, becoming a reflection of the deity. How much fun could you have with this? I mean, making a character that's an avatar, right? So you could create your own sort of subclasses where you're playing different avatars. They've got quite a few here. But, I mean, this looks really fun. Let's see what you get at one of the higher levels. So, Chains of the Shadow Angel. As a bonus action, this is 7th level, you point at a creature within 120 feet of you. Dark chains protrude from the shadows and try to capture the creature in their grasp. The creature must succeed on an acrobatics or athletics check against your avatar feature DC, or be grappled. The target can repeat the check at the start of each of its turns. And then you can use it equal to your charisma modifier. And then in your avatar form, it looks like, let's see. If the creature takes damage equal to or more than half of its hit point maximum while held by the change in this way, the target is banished to its home plane. If the target is native to the plane of existence that it is on, nothing happens. So you get like a bonus if you're in your avatar form. So you basically have an alternate form, kind of like the druid's wild shape, which is really cool. And I mean, gosh, this art is just phenomenal. Really beautiful artwork. Yeah, some of the best artwork I've seen, I think, in third-party books, for sure. I mean, look at that. That is just stunning, and, you know, so much stuff going on in here. You got the light touched. So let's read about this race real quick. There are legends of angels falling from grace, thus losing their birthright and becoming something else. Such stories generally tell the tale of the most extreme situations, but this is not always the case. Sometimes an angel starts to believe that the greater good can only be achieved outside the confines of heaven. Such angels don't fall, but are removed from heaven's hierarchy. As a result, their granted powers gradually grow dim, and they become angels. So it's not just angel, it's got an E in it, which is cool. And then they go through life without blessings. And you can see the art is just perfect for this, because it shows this sort of down-to-earth angel who's kind of making their own way instead of relying on their gifts. So I just love this book. I definitely want to get a copy and really enjoy it. I mean, look at this cover. The cover is just fun. I mean, so much stuff. And I'm pretty sure they're doing a book of evil as well. So hopefully that'll be on here soon. As well for you to enjoy. But I think this is just fantastic, and I'm so excited to see books like this come out. So check it out under Corpus Angelus and give it a click. Next, we've got Creature Tokens Pack 28 from Forgotten Adventures, $4.99 for these tokens that are top-down and work perfectly with all those top-down style maps. You've got a Mage, Giant Corgi, Drider, Shield Guardian, Gladiator, Ramoraz, and Young Red Dragon. And they've got multiple color variants for each one. And I mean, the Giant Corgi is awesome. And the Ramoraz and the Drider. I mean, these are great. You can always use those as a DM. So really cool. And I love that there's color variants. And really, it can be used with OSR, 5e. Pretty much any fantasy game can use these as long as they have comparable characters. So check it out under Creature Tokens Pack 28 in the links below. Give it a click. Next, we've got Dr. Groerdbort's Scientific Adventure Violence. It's a setting and supplement quick start here from Crowbar Creative, and it's free. It's 121 pages for free. I mean, that's a lot of pages. And it says, behold, the age of scientific adventure is upon us, and it's 5th edition. It is a time of intrepid space explorers, pipe-puffing imperialists, doughty freedom fighters, rocket-fueled missionaries, and mad scientists, of ray guns, rocketry, robots, radio, waves, and did we mention ray guns? It's a retrofuturistic setting and supplement for tabletop role-playing gamery based on the comics art and universe created by Weta Workshop's Greg Broadmoor. This is a unique and comprehensive guide to creating outlandish interplanetary adventures. It is lavishly illustrated and designed for 5th edition. So the quick start features setting details and rules, 5 pre-generated ready-to-play characters, plus scores of new creatures, weapons, gadgets, and vehicles, all in a maniacally flavorful yet accessible and easy-to-run format, no matter what rule system you prefer. So you've got it's licensed by Stardog, etc. And there was a Kickstarter and all sorts of extra information here that you can read. But I'm excited. It looks really fun. Steampunk is really popular, and to have like a 5th edition version is really cool. I mean, there's just so much information. Malfunction tables, wild beasts of Venus. I mean, you could have a lot of fun with this. I mean, look at the pictures here, just so beautiful. And what the deuce is going on here, it says. And here's the art on Lord Coxswain and jungle and swamp trekking. I mean, just fun. And this is free. This is free to get 121 pages to quick start you into this world and get you excited, so that hopefully you'll check out the other releases that are coming or are already out there for this. And it might be tied to a Kickstarter. But I love when you get this many pages. I mean, 121 pages for free with all of this stuff. Even if you don't play the full steampunk, if you just use it for inspiration, or maybe you take a piece out of here and use it somewhere else. I mean, it's super exciting. Let's see if there's something we can read here for you. Yeah, let's scroll back up. It says, yes, okay, 5e. It's designed for 5e, contains background information for the universe of Dr. Groodbert, rules for playing and running games with 5 pre-generated characters. So we read that already in the intro, but let's see. And the Dr. Groodbert universe is an alternate take on our dear solar system at the turn of the last century, and the events therein take place between the late 1800s and the early 1930s. It sprang from the mind of Weta Workshop artist and writer Greg Broadmoor and has inspired comics, merchandise, touring, art exhibitions, and even an amusement park experience in the planning. And now it has crash-landed in the world of role-playing games. So it's an age of adventure, a time of bold explorers, scruple-free imperialists, and savvy opportunists rocketing across the solar system, discovering exotic worlds, encountering fantastic creatures, and making contact with fascinating cultures and peoples. It's the age of the aristocratic discoverer, the big game hunter, the interplanetary missionary. It's the age of colonial friction, of exploration, expansion, of repression, and rebellion. Ray guns, rocketry, robots, etc. Yeah, I mean, the art is just stunning. The concepts are great, and you can do so much with it. Really have a lot of fun, and for free. So you've got to check it out. It's under Dr. Groodbert's Scientific Adventure in the links below. Give it a click. Next, we have Eldritch Sands. It's from Poison Potion Press, and it's a campaign setting for 5th edition. Already a best silver seller in its first week, and I know it was part of a popular Kickstarter. $14.95 for the PDF, and then you can get premium color, standard color, soft cover, combos, all kinds of stuff. But it's all 5th edition. It said, the world as we know it has ended. Rending storms are ravaging an arid wasteland, and the last remaining populace took shelter in the oasis, man-made dome of steel and neon lights. With resources dwindling, they turned to the occult and infused technology with eldritch power, for the machines to awaken, revolt against their makers, and change flora and fauna under its influence. It's time to suit up and wield those same ruinous powers to reclaim a chance of survival. Eldritch Sands is a unique and deadly campaign setting for 5th edition, putting you in control of powerful suits called Eldritch Tech to face the perils of a dying world. Shape the future by aligning with one of 4 factions. What will you do when you discover their secrets? Face dangers in and outside of oasis of a world heavily influenced by 70s and 80s science fiction and horror. So you've got everything packed into the book. You can don one of 5 suits: the Imp, Owlbear, Nightmare, Satyr, or Unicorn suit that supplant the usual classes or go against the odds without any suit. You can challenge your players with new threats or bring on your own with the provided templates. Play in stunning vistas from the dreary corridors of Oasis to the arid expanse, and pledge allegiance to one of 4 factions, each with different goals and a terrible secret. So yeah, lots of fun stuff, gorgeous artwork, and like I said, already a best silver seller, and they have a publisher preview. That's why it looks a little different. But you can see all the different things here. You get to see 29 pages. So goes into the disaster and the rising crisis, and look at how beautiful the artwork and layout is. Just really cool. If you just scroll through, it just looks wonderful. So anyone who likes that sci-fi, sci-fantasy of 70s, 80s horror, sci-fi is going to really, really like this, I think. And just anybody who wants to try something a little different for fifth edition. So we've got adventure hooks here. It says retrieve. A missing person report was recently issued depicting a young child. Previous sightings were in the deep water, and the Children of the Stars has promised a hefty compensation upon the successful rescue of the child, unharmed. A group of mimics has kidnapped the child, who they believe is a miracle, and hope to escape from the oasis. The characters must convince the mimics to release the child, defeat them, or let them escape with the child. So secrets, the faction has been spearheading many botanical and synthetic food initiatives within the produce. The faction has compiled lists containing genetic information from every citizen within the oasis. A special engine is secretly being developed using Eldritch tech. So you've got all kinds of things to discover with these secrets. You've got adventure hooks, different factions. That was the Children of the Stars we were looking at. I mean, just seems really, really cool and very sci-fi, which I love sci-fi stuff. So you got to check it out and grab a copy. It's under Eldritch Sands in the links below. Give it a click. Next, we've got Isle of the Dreaded Accursed. It's a Tier 2 adventure for 5th edition from Mr. Tarrasque and JVC Perry, two well-known names. Mr. Tarrasque has a YouTube channel, does some really fun reviews, and JVC Perry is one of the most well-known names of writing third-party adventures, and that's exciting. And so this is 5th edition. It's a Tier 2 adventure, and it says takes 5th level characters to a maximum of 10th level. When the sea goddess Elvirath discovered that her high priest had become obsessed with necromancy, she unleashed her wrath. Her once beautiful temple was desecrated, filled with hideous undead that used to be her most devout worshippers. Ships founder on sharp rocks, sailors are dying of foul plagues, powerful creatures from the deep are surfacing again. It has to stop. Somebody has to deliver the most valuable sacrifice to Elvirath has ever received. So very fun concept. And you can see inside here, you get to see 9 of the pages. I'm not sure how many, but it looks like it at least goes to 64 pages. And they've got all kinds of stuff. Everything's broken into chapters here, so 6 different parts to the adventure. And then you've got an appendix with all the dwarves, player options, including races and class options and character templates. And then you got a bunch of new monsters, including something called a zombie mound, and then magic items and player handouts. And so here's the intro. And goes right into the adventure, beautifully laid out with lots of artwork. I mean, look at this little creature peeking over things here. That looks really good, and it's knocking over stuff. So that's going to be fun. So chapter 1, Mountain Foot, talks about Mitra, the goddess of the sun, light, and all things radiant. And you've got your flavor text. We'll read just a little bit of the flavor text. I don't want to spoil the adventure for you, but I'm excited this exists from some great creators here. So it says, when the characters arrive in town, they are thrown straight into the deep end as 3 shipwreck survivors desperately row into port. They are pursued by a monster from the depths of the ocean. Once characters are within earshot of the harbor, read or paraphrase the following. A woman walks into the street and yells at the top of her lungs, "They're back! Survivors! In a sloop!" The characters immediately notice the woman is pointing towards the shore, where a crowd has started to gather. When the characters arrive at the harbor, they see 3 survivors. Read or paraphrase the following. 3 wounded sailors are being helped out of a rowing boat. They lean heavily against the dock workers as they limp across a small pier. Suddenly, a scream of agony tears through the panicked murmurs. An enormous beast covered in a mat of wet hair rises up from the ocean depths. A titanic leg, that of a sea spider, darts out and spears a dock worker through the torso, splattering their crimson blood across those standing nearby. The monstrous arachnid lifts the poor soul 20 feet into the air before smashing into the hard wooden surface of the pier. The crowd descends into a chaotic melee. The wounded soldiers fall into the water as a great wave hits the shore, dragging even more people into the sea to be devoured by the monstrosity. So absolutely a lot going on. You can kind of see that depicted here, and perfect immersive description here to get people truly involved in this. And I love how diverse this picture is, because you've got sort of a wizard doing a shield here. You got some sort of flying character trying to help. You've got looks like a paladin with a sword, the ship cracked in half, people running, people trying to help, other ships in the way. I mean, just really captures this flavor that is going on. And just, if this is how it starts, imagine how good it gets as it goes. So, I'm sure with JVZ Perry and Mr. Trask involved, it's going to be awesome. So you've got to check it out. It's $25 for the PDF on DriveThruRPG. Look for it under Isle of the Dreaded Accursed and give it a click. Next, we've got Heart of War, or Legendary Adventures Heart of War, from Legendary Games, and it is $9.99 for the PDF or $19.99 for it and a standard color book combo, 42 pages. And Legendary Adventures is part of an ongoing series from Legendary Games to take your play beyond level 20. And so this is a really cool one because it's going to be for characters level 22. So you do need to have Legendary Adventures Epic 5e book to make use of it, or you can homebrew, I guess. But and it says, following the trail of the ancient Trekketh leads the adventurers to another planet, one already ravaged by the progenitors, 𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬. Once there, however, leaving proves to be a difficult task, and there is a great need for the intervention of powerful outsiders. Elemental armies besiege the asteroid fortress of the prevailing warlord Garrajax the Vicious, and within his alien chest beats the key to the conflict, barring the party's way to learning more about what threatens their world. So, again, 22nd level. You get statistics for elite alien shock troops, alien warlord, and armies of elementals. And you get the Heart of Primordial Flame. It's a potent artifact. You get pre-gen characters. So if you're concerned about making a 22nd level character, you have those pre-gens. And then, of course, you get a printer-friendly version, which is helpful as well. So looking inside, you can see it's got 4 different chapters plus an epilogue, monster appendix, pre-gens. Then you get chapter 1. And you get a little sidebar on this trap called the 𝙬𝙬𝙬𝙬 Chamber Trap, and then this cool map here. But it's nice that the characters are going to get spirited away to another planet. So let's read some of this flavor text. So it says, if the adventurers arrive by ship, they are also drawn to Veratrem. As a last resort after the army was defeated, a spell beacon was set that attracts many approaching vessels and instantly teleports them. No matter how many PCs arise, they find the land ravaged by war. Elandria is in ruins. Everywhere you look, there is nothing but ruin. What was once a prosperous city, perhaps even a kingdom, is now a little more than a rubble. A few miles to the north is the silhouette of a trio of spiral towers riddled with damage and about to collapse, and a small dome dwellings in various states of decay spread about in every direction. However, there is no sound of rushed steps, no smell of fresh food, only deafening silence, the dust of war, and the smell of burned flesh. Here and there, 4 armed humanoids with scarlet skin litter the streets, dead secretians. Some still hold damaged weapons, but look most like unlucky civilians. A few steps and walking become a little harder as your footwear feels like it's glued to the ground. Everywhere you might tread is colored a sticky shade of blue, coated by thick and sticky substance that covers almost every surface. Secretian blood. There isn't much else to see in Valeria, and everything of value has already been taken. The GM will still let the adventurers explore a little to display how thoroughly the place has been destroyed and people exterminated. So really flavorful, interesting setup going on here for this sort of asteroid and other planetary battle with level 22 characters. So I think you should check it out. It's under Legendary Adventures Heart of War in the links below. Give it a click. Next we got Menagerie of Magical Beasts. It's a Night Owl Odyssey's adventure, $4 for 14 pages. And as usual with them, you get all kinds of goodies. You get these little tokens, which are gorgeous, in these little maps, and this book, and all these little cards with things on it. And I mean, look at how fun these maps are. This map could be used for Wild Beyond the Witchlight, or other carnival themed things. They're hand painted. I mean, just beautiful. And you've got gridded, non-gridded, fully statted monster sheets. So each of the monsters has a sheet. It's for average party level 10. And yeah, I just love what they put together. They always make beautiful stuff, and they have music with these as well, because you get 2 musical tracks, 3 new magical items, 4 new monsters. It says, come one, come all to the Menagerie of Magical Beasts, where you'll be wowed by creatures blessed with the fearsome power of the elements. Will you discover the dark secrets of the menagerie as its host goes missing? And what will you do when the fate of these creatures is in your hands and your hands alone? Find out now in Menagerie of Magical Beasts. Yeah, it's so fun. Really like it. And the artwork, I mean, just the playful artwork and the maps alone. $4 to get the maps and the music and the cards. I mean, even if you don't run the adventure, you're getting so much stuff. So check it out under Menagerie of Magical Beasts in the links below. Give it a click. Next, we've got Queen 𝘖𝙤𝙤 from 𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙧𝙀. It's suggested price of $1 on Pay What You Want, 5th edition, 12 pages. And Cliff Dunn is the author. And it says, Queen 𝘖𝙤𝙤 may be Vateshar's greatest thief. She's certainly its longest working one, having over 50 years' experience as a professional rogue. She's suspected of committing the Free City's largest heist 40 years ago, but she's never confessed to it, then or now. At this point in her career, what she cares about most is basking in the respect and reputation she's earned over a lifetime of crime. Although, a new bag of emeralds would be nice too. So you get, in this sort of 𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙧's drip strategy for the Free City Vateshar is that they're releasing new titles each week with just a piece, an NPC or, some other thing. And then you read those, you grab those at these low prices. And then over time, you're going to really understand this full setting and have a lot of materials to work in. And you can even use them in other settings. So if you want to throw Queen 𝘖𝙤𝙤 into Forgotten Realms or wherever, you are welcome to do that, because you're going to get a lot of information inside from 𝙤𝙤𝙬 and Cliff. So it says, Queen 𝘖𝙤𝙤, that's why the lady is a thief. The grand dame of the Free City's criminal class, Queen 𝘖𝙤𝙤 is probably Vateshar's most experienced thief, having worked for more than 50 years as a professional stealer. Her nickname, Queen, is a tribute to her unmatched talents as a second-story burglar and strongbox cracker. It has been estimated that over the course of her 5-decade-long career, Queen 𝘖𝙤𝙤 has planned or taken part in more than 500 heists. Some of them mapped out so meticulously that their victims didn't learn that they had been hit until days, weeks, or even months after the fact. And it talks about how she came to Vateshar, and you can see, there's just gorgeous artwork in here. And then it shows you what's in her pouch. She's got a potion of superior healing, potion of speed, lockpick set, all this stuff, dust, forgery kit, and then here's the stat block. CR6, and then you got adventure hooks down here as well. One called Driving Miss Esme. But let's read this one. It's just business. 2 weeks ago, the party got an invitation they never thought to receive. They were invited to meet the legendary thief Queen 𝘖𝙤𝙤 at the Black Jackal Tavern, a notorious dive in the Warren. I know we haven't met, but I need someone for a job, and I hear you aren't squeamish in a tight spot. 𝘖𝙤𝙤 tells them from the back of a booth. The plan is for the PCs to take point on a job inside the old, sealed-off tunnel beneath Jeweler Street. There are security measures that need disarming from below the street, and 𝘖𝙤𝙤 will have to be above ground at the same time in order to gain entry to the building at the street level. She's willing to cut the party in for 25% if they can handle the traps, and will meet them afterwards to give them their cut of the take. The trouble is that the traps beneath Jeweler Street were actually set by Queen 𝘖𝙤𝙤 herself in order to create a loud distraction below street level while she performs the real job during all the commotion. She has no intention of cutting the party in for any of the loot, expecting them to be either dead or on the run, or the guests of Captain Berja and the Black Casbah by the time they realize they've been patsies of the Queen. I had a feeling that's where it was headed. So very cool, very flavorful, and reminds me of some of the Ocean 11 heist stuff. And just the sort of backstabbing that can go on with some of these characters. So it just be lots of fun, right? And you can use this in any setting. There are even some insults here. So it says, I was today years old when I remembered that I didn't like you. So fun little insults. Just tons of stuff packed in this little book of 12 pages for free, or $1, or whatever you want to pay. But I encourage you to pay something to 𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙧 to support this drip strategy, and really keep up with it. I mean, they're releasing so many each week, so that you can really get into this Vateshar location, or you can use them elsewhere, and that's the versatility of it all. So I love it. Good job, Cliff and 𝙤𝙤𝙬𝙧. It is Queen Ismira in the links below. Give it a click. Next we have Remarkable Cults and Their Followers from Loresmith, which I really like Loresmith's books. I bought their Remarkable Shops. I've got the bundle, the print on demand, and the digital, and they do just such a great job. The artwork is always beautiful, and it's just great. And this particular one involves R.P. Davis and Jeff Lee, as well as J.V.C. Perry. So names that we're familiar with from other products. And it says it's the ultimate GM guide on role-playing evil fantasy factions. It's a system-neutral source book, and it contains everything you need to role-play or create your own unique villainous guilds. And there's complex evil factions as well as tools to create your own. You've got villainous leaders and their cronies, rumors, new gameplay ideas, services, information on working for and against cults, gaining ranks and followers, and much, much more. And 180 pages of stuff. I mean, it's really, cults are something that are often found in the game, but maybe don't always get that attention. And I mean, with such beautiful artwork, it's really exciting. So you can see, typically, Loresmith has great artwork and layout, but you can already see here in the 13-page preview that they've got a really fun border even. And so yeah, you've got all the cults here, and then bringing your cults to life, how to deal with their influence, their disposition, their services, all that stuff, and then creating your own cults and player-operated cults even. So I mean, this is like anything and everything you could want with cults. It's here. And what's beautiful is you can use it with OSR, you can use it with probably with Morkborg, you can use it with Pathfinder, you can use it with 5th edition. So all of these things, because it's system neutral or agnostic. So it goes into using the book, and I mean, look at the beautiful artwork. So much good stuff. So the Justicars, really fun name as well. You can see they've got this really cool sidebars. So yeah, let's zoom in and look at this. So it says the Justicars, we've got the wealth, description, the resources, the defense, influence, services. They do bodyguards, safe houses, weapon training, and they're disfavored by sorcerers, warlocks, and wizards, but they are favored by monks, fighters, barbarians, and orcs. Then you get an in-game quote. And then it says, under the reign of kings and queens, there have always been those above the law. Corruption has poisoned the courts, and the scales of justice have become tipped in the favor of the rich and powerful. Now hidden behind skull masks, the Justicars have risen to not only rebalance the scales with blood, but to replace crowns and courts with an older, nobler way, where there are no rulers, only eternal laws. The Justicars see themselves as revivers of a bygone age where strength, loyalty, and honor were paramount. They dress themselves in the morbid garb of lawgivers from an ancient civilization, whose myths they have adopted for their own brutal creed. Their members rise from the poorer quarters of cities, and their creed does not tolerate affronts to justice. Whether the perpetrator is a duke or guard captain, the cult is known for establishing arenas where wrongdoers are called forth to face a trial by combat. If they refuse, they are hounded by the cult for the rest of their lives. Those who survive their trials are branded on the back of their left hand, a mark even the richest and most powerful can't hide. So really flavorful. I know I use that word a lot, but it is flavorful and detailed, I should say. It's very detailed, very descriptive. And you've got a little section on Tamaris Codius here. Is age 42, race human, occupation lawgiver, gladiator, specialty oration, manipulation, gladiatorial combat. So all the information on this character. And then leader and the ranks. So they have Punisher all the way to Scales of Justice and Cruel Offerings. Yeah, just really beautiful, fun stuff. All the details. I mean, here, the Mantle of Judgment, 500 GP uncommon. Members of the Justicars who rise through the ranks to become magistrates or even higher are given a Mantle of Judgment. These decadent headdresses cover the face with a skeletal mask and wrap around the head and shoulders. Each is ornamented with motifs drawn from the illustrations in the Amun Mat, which feature scales, hawks, and swords. While wearing such a mantle, a creature gains the ability to tell when they are being lied to. The mask also has the magical ability to instill fear in creatures that look upon it, as well as enhance the wearer's voice to be loud as thunder. So, getting items, you're getting character details, you're getting factions, you're getting how to make your own cults, and I mean, beautiful artwork everywhere. And I mean, just so much, even player run cults. I mean, this is like pretty much the ultimate guide, as it says, to cults. So I think you should check it out under Remarkable Cults in the links below and give it a click. Next, we have Tavern Tales, number 1. It's a fantasy RPG e-zine from Jonas Davidson, 12 pages, OSR or system agnostic. And it says it's a few simple mechanics and tips to make travel in any fantasy RPG more exciting and adventurous. So you've got this concept of supply dice, a simple mechanic to make resources matter, and it plugs right into any TTRPG system. Plan your route, quick tips and simple advice on how to make travel more interesting, adventurous, and meaningful. Encounter and discovery tables, 4 random tables packed with interesting plot hooks and things to explore while traveling in the wilderness. And then 1-page adventures, 2 complete adventures ready to run, one for roadside travel and one for wilderness. And so you can use it with OSR or 5th edition or any fantasy role-playing game, Pathfinder. So it says plan your route, exploration and wonder here with a fun little map, navigation rules, listen to rumors, roadside encounters, roadside discoveries. The first one on roadside discoveries: a fortified coaching inn stands by the roadside, offering a welcome respite from the long road and sleeping under the stars. However, the gate is barred and there is no sign of life from within. What happened here? And it says a person in a tattered clothing pleads for help. They claim to have been cursed by the local duke because they witnessed the duke murdering his wife. Ooh. Okay, so good storylines. And then navigation rules. The benefits of following the road means you won't get lost. Stay on the road and you'll be fine. The same cannot be said for traveling through the wilderness. When the heroes travel through the wilderness, they should roll for navigation each day to see if they stay on course. A successful roll means they stay on course and make progress that day. A failed roll means they veer off course and waste the day. Add another day of travel to their journey as they need to get their bearings and chart a new course. So fun mechanic here, and you've got encounter rolls, discovery rolls, weather rolls, and then going mapless, choices that matter, roads versus wilderness. Just really nice. I like this layout too. It's really, and the colors really easy to read, and it's just, I don't know, it makes me feel calm looking at this, which I like. And very fun fonts and just nice amount of white space and pictures. And I just love the concept of this. I want to learn more about the supply dice and all the stuff that they have to offer. For $4.99, you're getting a lot of stuff that you can use for pretty much any game. So check it out under Tavern Tales 1 in the links below and give it a click. Well, that was our last title this week. We're now going to preview what our discount's going to be next week, which is Aberrant Codex with Aberrant Allies from Cobalt Sage's Creations. And it's normally, it looks like, let's see what this price is, see if it'll let me copy paste. $19.99. It's hard to see with the strike through. It's on sale for $9.99, but we're going to have a bigger discount. It's going to be 60% off. It's on sale for 50% off right now, but we're going to have it for 60% off next week. So you want to make sure you're following us on all the platforms so you can get that discount on Monday at 10 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. It says, regardless of where you are in life, it's always easier to find a friend at your side. In most cases, this friend is well known and easy to get used to. However, in the case of those who find themselves an aberrant ally, nothing can be normal again. Strange and wholly unknowable creatures are at your behest. Taking an aberrant ally will give you the edge against any foe. In this book, you'll find new animal companions, new familiars, a slew of monsters for the table, 6 feats that show the bond between you and your companion in a way not yet seen. These monsters, nay, these horrors, are eager to join you on your adventures. Do you risk drawing their ire by denying them? So very fun. I like it. I think you're going to really like it, especially with that discount. And it's 37 pages and lots of authors, including Tara Collins, Hal Kennett, and more. And so yeah, you got to be on those channels to get that next week. It's for 5th edition. Lots and lots of animal companions and familiars for you at a really great price, even better than the sale that's going on right now. So stay tuned. Follow us, get that, and while you're at it, subscribe to the channel, like the video, leave us a comment. We'll respond to all those comments, and click those links in the video description. Support all these wonderful creators we've talked about this week. Encourage them to keep going by purchasing their books, following them on social media, leaving them comments, reviews, all that good stuff. And if you purchase anything after you click any of the links in the video description, you're going to support the channel and support us in making new books. We have a new one coming very soon in May, so you want to stay tuned to find out what that book's about. It's exciting, and it's going to be the biggest book we've ever done. So lots and lots of material in that book, and I can't wait to tell you more. And if you're interested in our past books from 2021, we have 5 titles, including the Feywild Companion, available in print or digital in the links below. It's got all kinds of Feywild fun for players and DMs alike, over 150 pages with VTT stuff as well. Then you've got Potions Unlocked, which is on print and digital, and it's got over 100 pages of potion goodness, everything from brand new potions with short stories about each one to potion locations with fully stocked vendors, adventure hooks, you name it, they're in there if it's potion related. And then you've got Van Richten's Librum of Lineages, going deep into the lineage concept that's new to D&D, as well as optional rules and unique lineages that you can use in any setting. Then you've got Fizban's Vault of Draconic Secrets, all about dragon stuff, a subclass for every single class related to dragons. It's got a familiar, horde magic items, and draconic gifts to all add to your campaign, and even adventure hooks for all the new things that are in that book to help DMs integrate them. And then you've got Secrets of the Draugr, a brand new race featuring the Drow and the Duergar melded together and into a surprising combination with deities and a new fortune telling method. So check out those books in the links below and help support the channel and have a good time with them. They're a lot of fun. So until next time, thanks so much for watching, and I hope you're all well and taking care of each other and staying safe out there. So happy adventuring.